Great stuff. So a bit more of a formal good evening to everyone. And once again, thanks for ECA. He's one of my sidekicks that help me host these Zoom meetings. It's always good to have him on board. And I want you to understand the potential of this moment and to also honor yourself by muting your phone, with messages and really focusing on what we're going to be talking about, only if it tickles your interest. If you want to focus on something else, that's also fine. But if you're here to learn and if you're here to learn to grow a business, in this case, our touch point is MTI, Mirror Trading International. Um, honor yourself and stay focused. There are so many distractions these days. We are so over connected with everything that we do and all the social media. And if you can, get yourself a notepad and something to write on, because we'll be sharing a lot of valuable information. I am not sure whether we will be distributing this recording, because it's more of an inner circle kind of thing. Let me quickly see. I know Asia can hear me. Lionel, I'm not sure why you are not hearing people. You should be able to hear. So maybe let me start with a short introduction. Even for those who know me, I think I may share something a bit more on a personal level. And it's kind of embarrassing for me to share, because I'm very much someone that is attuned to achievement. So for me, my picture of success has always been achievement. And for the past 16 years, I have been able to achieve quite a bit in multiple businesses, etc. So it caught me very much off guard when not so long ago, um, I found myself in a position where I was financially down and out. Okay. And it really caught me off guard, because money was never a problem. I never had to think twice when I spend something or whatever the case may be. And I always had good business strategies and businesses that work. But there's this one kind of event that happened in my house that really had the thing hit me. And I don't know how to explain it, but it really, I realized that I'm at the bottom of my barrel. What actually happened was my mother-in-law came over to visit, and I was busy working on my laptop, and I said hello and everything. And I noticed that she's like kind of a little bit secretive, but I think, okay, it's fine. She's talking to my wife, and they're doing their thing. They're having some tea, and I'm continuing working. At the same time, actually feeling very irritated with my own situation, not getting my business to work the way that I envision it to work, and being frustrated and irritated with working harder and harder and harder, and battling with little things, and then not seeing the results, and money is, it's not about the paper stuff. Money is just a representation of value. So for me, that is results, is to see income, because it's a representation of the value that we are adding to the world around us, and money is the means and the exchange of that. And yeah, when my mother-in-law left, I had to chat to my wife, and it was just around the house, because I mostly work from home. And at some stage, I have this habit of going to the fridge, and some just opening it and closing it again. I don't know who else has that habit, where you might do that. And at that stage, everything was so scarce. Money was scarce, time was scarce, everything was so scarce. And I open the fridge, and I see like our whole fridge is packed with food. And I said to my wife, where does all this food come from? And she said, my mom brought it. And in that moment, it just hit me like that it had come to this, after 16 years being in my own business and being very successful, I'm at a place where my mother-in-law sneaks in food into our house and puts it into the kitchen. At that stage, I felt like a huge, huge failure. I felt embarrassed. Like she knows me well enough. I've got a good relationship with her. She knows me not well enough that she didn't say anything about it. But guys, I never thought in my whole life that I would be so down and out. I never thought it would ever be part of my reality. And let me tell you now, looking back to that day, it was probably one of the best things that ever happened to me to be at the bottom of my barrel. Because in that moment, feeling like a complete failure, feeling completely stripped of everything, after that was in the same period where I had to sell my car, I had to close my business, etc., etc. And some of you who know me have an idea of what happened in my life in that period, and it wasn't long ago. It was a moment of desperation. It was a time of desperation. But it was so good because I had to become so uncomfortable with my results that I was willing to do something and take the responsibility for myself and change it. Fast track a few months, literally a few months, where I'm at now, I didn't think it was possible to so quickly become financially independent. So where I'm at now, some of you have been keeping track of my progress, which I'm sharing. It's for me part of being humble is just showing people where I'm at. Is that I can stop working tomorrow if I want to. Tomorrow morning I can choose 100% what I want to do, and my income will still continue. I've automated from my previous webinars, my personal goal was to automate 100% of my income. I've automated now 160%, 160. So at the moment, I'm almost at double. Thank you, Essie. I'm almost at double what I need in a month, which is pretty amazing. And it's not. I had to first get to that place of being extremely uncomfortable, deciding if I could redo everything, what would I want to do? If I could choose, what would I want to have? If I'm like my creator, if I'm also creative, what do I want to create? And here's the key. I know we are talking about a specific business tool called MTI, Mirror Trading International, but it's so important that you realize that it's not the magic bullet. Let's be very, very real. It is an amazing business and a fantastic opportunity, but it's not the magic bullet. You are the success, not the thing that you hold in your hands. So it's a bit like, tonight is a bit like training you to be able to use the tool, because your mindset will be the thing that determines whether you make a success of anything that you do. And that's what tonight is about. So the stuff that we'll be talking about, and later on, Essia will also be talking about specific things. He's a great business coach, and I've learned a lot from him. So you can also look forward to that part. And Essia, I give you the right to also chip in if you feel that you have something to add to the current theme. So it can be a conversation. It doesn't have to be a formal program as such. But the idea is there's one thing that I want to cover, and then we'll move on to Essia. But guys, please write this down. My biggest enemy is my comfort zone. My biggest enemy is my comfort zone. It was the most beautiful gift for me to get so uncomfortable that I had to change things. It was necessary, right? and there's no looking back. So every time, this is how life works. We have contraction and we have expansion. We have contraction and expansion. You will see that thing play out in your life, in every relationship, in every business, in every career, in your health, in every area of your life. It's like a wave. It's like a frequency. There's contraction and expansion, contraction and expansion. And it's in that contraction where you get uncomfortable and when you start to make new decisions. So remember that, what is the flip side of this? If comfort is your greatest enemy, it means that there's no growth in the comfort zone and there's no comfort in the growth zone. So when you feel uncomfortable, yes, you're growing. When there's something
That's a fact.
There's something new to do, and there's something that's like, this is not the way that I do it, and I'm not so comfortable with this. Great, you're growing. You're growing. So, Issa, do you have something to add to that?
No. Just the whole thing. I mean, even in business coaching, what you try to do is push the business owner with one foot in the comfort zone and the other foot straddling the edge of the comfort zone, so that he's always uncomfortable and pushing to improve. So I totally agree with you.
Cool. So, and in just really understanding that, it's all about you. It's not about the tool. It's a bit, if I can give you guys a metaphor, and we'll cover two things tonight, and there'll be some conversation around these two main themes, but I'm going with the flow tonight. I'm more speaking from off the cuff and from the heart and having a planned presentation, because I want it to be valuable for you guys. And we'll open up for questions, and you're actually welcome to ask questions as we go on. But the two main themes, the first thing is I'll discuss the one-page business growth strategy. So it's a one page that you can print out. If you work with that one page every single day, your business will be growing, guaranteed. And then with that comes the objections, the negativity, or whatever you may face. And that's where I want you to talk to us about objection handling. So what's going to happen is your ego is going to get in the way, right? So you have certain goals and aspirations of where you want to be going, but for some reason, you're not getting there. And for most people, it's because they're not willing to do the work that is required to get there. And that is on the other side of your ego, your identity, your sense of self. And I read something so beautiful. I wonder if I can maybe screen share that. No, it was just screen grabbed on my phone. I want you to listen carefully to this statement. It says, you can rise up from anything. You can completely retrace and recreate yourself. Nothing is permanent. You're not stuck. You have choices. You can think new thoughts. You can learn something new. You can create new habits. All that matters is that you decide today never to look back. So today is the beginning of the rest of your life. Most of us are slaved in our past because of the way our perceptions and the way we see the world and the way that we see ourselves. That is, ego is the sense of self. And it's not a bad thing, but understand that your ego will come in the way of you achieving what you want to achieve. And normally when that's challenged, that's when you start to feel uncomfortable. So just remember this thing that you've written down, is that the comfort zone is your biggest enemy, and there's no growth in the comfort zone, and there's no comfort in the growth zone. So that's very, very important. I want you to be successful, irrespective of what you touch, whether it's a mirror trading international business, whether it's another business. For me, this is not, this goes beyond MTI, right? MTI is for many of us the tool that we are focusing on using right now, But these skills go beyond that. And if you think about this metaphor, imagine there's a mechanic, and this mechanic is quite good, and he used to work at from his garage, and he has some tools and things, and he can pretty much fix anything. When you give him your car, he will sort it out for you. And for whatever reason, this mechanic got a job offering to go and work at BMW. And his first day on the job, he walks into this workshop, and man, the floors are tiled. The cupboards, everything is neat. Every single tool is marked. And he picks up the tool from the shelf, and he can see this thing is meant to do something, but he doesn't have a damn clue what to do with this piece of equipment. Maybe some of you have heard of special tools when it comes to cars, where it's a very specific thing, and sometimes those tools require training to use that specific tool. And yes, you can do anything with the right tools, but if you don't have the skill, the mindset, the right attitude, how you go about it, I can put the most amazing tool in your hands. Listen carefully. I can put the most amazing tool in your hands, and you wouldn't know what to do with it. And I see this with what we're doing. I see some people. I just spoke to someone, and he's probably on this call. I'm not going to single him out now, but spoke to him saying, and he said to me, Luca, I'm signing up an average of 5 people per day with MTI. And I'm like, wow, you're doing better than I am. He's using the tool, right? Then there are, and of course, this guy is making money because he's putting in the work. He cannot not make money. Then I speak to other people, and they tell me, Enrico, I don't know if this thing is working for me, I'm trying, I've put some money in, and I told 1 or 2 people, but they're just not interested. I don't know if this is for me, It's the same tool. It's the same tool, which in 4 months got me to a place of being financially independent. It's the same tool. Few people can say that their income is fully automated, right? With a surplus. So I see we still have people joining. That's great. Sorry for you that you missed the first part. That is a lesson in punctuality. Great. So let's get into how to take a 1-page strategy and work with that. So before I share my screen, maybe if you have some thoughts on Isia, maybe over to you. Do you have 1 or 2 thoughts to share in terms of what we've been saying?
No. I just want to inform you that I did turn the chime back on, and I'm inviting people in the background on the Facebook pages, on the WhatsApp groups.
Okay.
If they still want to join us. We're just over 50 people.
Cool.
And I'm inviting more of the inner circle people to come to the training. I love your analogy or your metaphor about the tool. It's very, very true. I mean, if you don't know what a tool is for, I think of inheriting something from a grandfather, which was entrusted to you by them, but you have no clue what it does. It's cute, it's fantastic, it's peculiar. But until you one day find out what it does, it's useless to you. So the most amazing tool in the ignorant person's hands is going to mean nothing.
Yeah. It's kind of scary, but it's a good thing that we begin to know what we don't know. So some of the questions that I received from you guys, I'll just rehash it and let's see if we can answer it as we go along. Is it worthwhile to help someone to invest a small amount with MTI? Okay, is it worthwhile to help someone to invest a small amount with MTI? Second question, how do I convince people to sign up with MTI? Third question, why do people respond? Why do people not respond to my webinar invites, which we know is one of the primary marketing strategies, is to have people at the webinar. So why do people not respond to your invites? Fourth question, what are the best marketing strategies for MTI business growth? And the fifth question, I'm losing hope when people say it's a scam or a pyramid. So that's more of a statement. So we'll touch on those questions. Now, let me share with you the one-page growth strategy or tool. I'm not sure what to call it. Maybe we can come up with a better name for it. I'm just going to put it in the chat box. It's a Google Drive link. You don't need to sign into Google. You should be able to download it right away. If you can't do it now, just save the link. I will in any way share my screen. I just need to find it. I'm very happy with the turnout tonight. I'm actually surprised. I thought we were going to be 10 people. So what this is telling me is that people are ready to invest in themselves, to learn a new skill. So I will give you my everything. I will give you my experience. Interestingly enough, I have only worked for a salary for 9 months in my life. It was just when I finished studying. And after that 9 months, every single day, I had to learn how to sell something. Now, this word sales or selling is a big swear word for people. Like, oh, I don't want to be a salesperson. But if you think about it, you're actually selling yourself all the time. You might be selling your idea to a friend. Hey, let's go to that restaurant. You may be selling yourself to your partner in life, telling them that, this is what is good about you. Whenever you help someone change their mind or see something new, you are effectively selling something. But I'm no salesperson. I am a sales gentleman. And that I want to show you that specific strategy that I use. Because I don't sell anything. I have people do their own convincing work. So that question, that someone asked, how do I convince someone to sign up with MTI? That question is totally flawed, guys. If you ask, how do I convince someone? You can never convince anyone of anything. That question is flawed in itself. So how can we get someone to convince themselves about something? That would be a better question. So let's look at the one-page strategy. And as we go along, please type some questions into the comment box and interact and give us your comments. Let me quickly open it. There we go. Right, so I need to share. Okay, is everyone, you know what? Let me ask for a yes in the comment box. I just want to quickly read. Lizanne is saying, my grandfather used to say, a man convinced against his will is of the same opinion still. Yeah, very true. Thank you, Lizanne. If you guys are ready to get into this lesson, this teaching, where I share this one-page strategy and you're ready to learn, open your mind to something new, can you just give me a yes in the chat box so that we know everyone is on board? Love it, love it, love it, love it. You guys are responsive. Okay, let's get to work. I'm going to share my screen. And so guys, if you follow this strategy, you will get results. I like to experiment, right? I like to try new things. And some of you here on the call are marketers that I'm talking to about alternative strategies. How can we use Facebook and Google pay-per-click and all these things for marketing? But those are experiments. What I'm giving you here on this page, it's not an experiment. It's guaranteed that it works. And this is how I've built my income. I don't want to be too public about numbers, but what I'm showing you here is currently producing for me 5,500 Rand per day. And as I mentioned, I can stop working right now and that income will continue. My emphasis on automated income. Remember my 3 circles, my 3 spheres of income, of freedom: geographical freedom, time freedom, and financial freedom. So those 3 elements is important. If you don't understand that yet, make sure that you join on the webinar on Thursday evening. So let's get into this one page. This is your marketing and sales cheat sheet. Someone made a suggestion, thank you. Cheat sheet to achieve this, right? And you know what is the thing? A lot of people have their own ideas in terms of what to do, how to do it, and that is all good. But if you want to model someone's results, you do exactly as they say, right? Once you have the results, then you have the license to become creative. Say, maybe I can tweak this a little bit, okay? And I'm now at a place where there's surplus income in the business and in my finances where I say, okay, let me take a little bit of this extra money and we do some experiments with it. We do some paid Facebook ads. We build some funnels. We do this, we do that. None of those have given me any results yet. They are still experimental. The only one that's given me results, the strategy, is this one that I'm showing you right now. So let's get into this. So if you want to grow your business, what should your activity look like? And we'll start with the big block. And Esio, please chip in here. I think you have a lot to add to this topic as well. So you take 20 names.
Pleasure.
And this is the first objection that you will have within yourself is, I don't think I have 20 names. I don't think I have 20 names for every day or every week, depending on what kind of volume you want to do. This is for prospecting. This is for finding new potential customers, right? So now, what most people do is they take their phone book and they're like, okay, let's start with Adrian. Oh, no. Adrian. You know what? Adrian is not, he's not a guy for this kind of thing. Let's go to Bianca. Bianca would never. Bianca can't even afford this. And so you go on, you disqualify people based on your own perceptions. So stop doing that. Write down 20 names. You can use your intuition a little bit to see which names pop out to you. But you write down 20 names, and those are the 20 names that you'll be working with. And those 20 names, you're going to take through some sort of a funnel, which we call a conversion funnel, right? And maybe I'll speak a little bit about that. But if we look at the top left, the blue text, your ideal marketing outcomes are the following 3 things. Number 1, the first prize is a one-to-one meeting in person. Now, in our day and age, now in person could be something like a video call with Zoom or WhatsApp, whatever the case may be. Ideally, something where you can share your screen. The second prize is one-to-many communication, where you have someone at an event/webinar. The third prize is if you message someone with something. Now, the thing here is most people skip to the third one because that one is going to require the least uncomfort from you. You can skip to the second one if you're not confident with your product and your offering yet. But please remember, the most important thing is, we call this, and you can please write it down, high tech, high touch. We use technology, but that doesn't mitigate personal contact. High tech, high touch. The best online marketing right now is offline. You get that? The best online marketing right now is actually offline. Because we are so overconnected and there's so many messages coming our way. If someone makes personal contact, suddenly you stand out from the rest. One of the
I just want to add to that quickly, Enrico. There are two things. Like you're saying, if somebody makes personal contact, you are standing out from everybody else. And there's another secret. And it's just think about yourself. If somebody said, I look at it, how often do you follow up? So there's the two very pertinent things. Most people, most businesses will not make personal contact. Most people, most businesses will not follow up. If you make personal contact and you follow up, you are 40% ahead of anybody else that's trying to get there.
But why don't people do that? What do you think, Isya?
It's a fear of rejection, a fear of objection. People are having this conversation in their head. You know, you've got a little voice in your head, everybody out there. Yeah, that one that just said, what little voice? I don't have a little voice. That little voice. It sounds maybe like your dad. It sounds like a teacher. If you did national service, it sounds like a drill sergeant. There's a little voice in your head that tells you a whole lot of things. It comes from your subconscious. And it's designed to protect you, but it is actually quite stupid. It is just scared and it protects you. So it says, don't do that. It's not going to be nice. It's going to be painful. Stay away. So whatever way that message comes across, it's going to tell you not to do it. And you've got to be able to say, hello, have this internal conversation. What will happen if I do it? Is it really going to be that bad? What about I try it and then go back to the little voice and say, see, I did it. The little voice is you in the mirror. I did it and it was actually nice. Yeah. And again, and again, and again.
It's so true. And I think if we are all honest here, and please put it in the chat box, if you are really honest with yourself, is there maybe a little bit of fear of rejection? So I'd rather just, I'm just gonna WhatsApp and then I'm gonna ignore, right? I don't want them to say no, you know. God forbid I call them and they say, no, thank you, I'm not interested. Man, would that hurt your ego, right? So yes, it is unconscious, but it is there. And we are all human, guys. So when you work from the standpoint that I am here to bring something of value to you, I would like to introduce value to you. You may consider it. You're invited, whatever the case may be. It's a different kind of energy that you come across with in saying, I need this from you. I need to convince you. Oh, please, man, please listen to what I have to say. It's like a beggar's mentality. Then you will get rejected, you know. But if you come with the energy of, I'm here to provide value to you, whether you're interested or not, that's important for me, that I provide value to you. Money will follow, my friends. Money will follow. What are we seeing? Reading a book called Go for No. Brilliant. Yes. One of my big statements, I don't know where I heard it, is that champions eat no for breakfast. I'm at liberty to say how many voices I have in my brain. Just now you sent me to the loony bin.
You got me laughing out loud on the call because I read it while you started talking and I started laughing before I could mute my mic. You're not the only one, Sean, it happens.
Please stay live, Isya. That's cool. Yeah, very much so. So this is all us. In human nature, we will fear the rejection. Okay. One of the best internet marketers in the world, Perry Marshall, I opted in on one of his things and he promised to send me a book. And after I submitted my name and my email address, said, watch out, it will come in the post. I'm like, why did you not just send me an ebook? And when I received the book, the physical book, it was actually just like a white paper. It was just a A4 thing, bind it, very cheap. But that thing had a physical presence in my life. So of all the other books that I requested and downloaded, his book was the only one that landed up on my desk and then next to my bed, and it sort of traveled with me, and every now and then I read a little bit. So Perry Marshall understood how to have presence in my life. So what I'm telling you is have a presence in someone's life. Otherwise, you do not have the right to try and sell them anything, to try and offer any value of them. So be present in their lives. The way that we do it now is pick up the phone and you phone someone, right? And start the conversation. So, right, believe in you will achieve. Thank you, Blickies, for the file. So first prize is to connect one-to-one. If you do not have the product knowledge yet to take someone through a one-to-one meeting, your first strategy is then the second prize, which is the webinar, where I do the talking for you and already overcome some of the objections. And then after that, you do your one-to-one follow-up in person. You don't leave it and wait for a miracle to happen. You phone someone and get your pen and write down these questions. That was one of the questions. I'll deal with it right now. What are good questions to ask for follow-up after the webinar? Every Thursday we have a webinar. Some of you guys invite 20 people at a time, 100 people at a time. How do you follow them up? You don't ask them, so are you in or are you out? You probably may. But you ask them questions like, what stood out for you from the webinar? Okay, write that down. You ask them something like, now that you understand, what do you want to do with this tool? Question number 3. Based on what you want to achieve, how do you see this helping you achieve that? So I'm assuming you know the person well enough that their one-day dream is to be next to the fishing waters and spend most of their day fishing. Okay. Hey, Charles, how could this help you to spend more time fishing now that you understand the tool? Next question. Do you have any more information that you require to be able to make a decision? What is keeping you from taking action? What are your next steps and how can I support you in that? So can you guys see it's not a thing of trying to close a sale, it's more supportive. And there's two main sales approaches. One is a hunting approach where you go in for the kill. And some of you may have that approach, and it's not a bad thing as long as you know how to do that. And then there's a farming approach. I was very much a hunter. Now I'm a farmer. I plant little seeds. I keep on wetting those seeds, keeping on giving out information, making sure that we're on fertile ground, If there's a crow coming to pick up the seed or something, I was like, we need to deal with this crow, this objection, and we need to handle it. So those are questions you can use for follow-up. So we jumped the gun a little bit to follow up, but depending on where you're at, you may do a one-to-one. That is always your first prize. If someone wants to do business with me, I appreciate it if they take the time to talk with me. Rico, let's set up a time. How do you get that one-to-one meeting? In the third block from the top, I've given you the ideal script. And we can adapt this slightly for your webinar invites. Why do you want to phone? Because you've got so much more presence when you speak to a person as opposed to email and WhatsApp. Okay? You phone them. Hey, how are you? It's Enrico here. And we do a little bit of small talk, right? You connect with what's valued by that person. Hey, how's it going with your fishing? How's it going with the kids? Or whatever is important for that person. Hopefully you would know that. Otherwise, I can make the argument that you don't care enough. Here's why I'm calling. I would like to meet with you in person to catch up and talk business. I'm not hiding anything. I'm saying this is my intention. I want to talk business to you. All right. When are you available? Then the person may ask you, what business? Right? If someone trusts you, they have a good relationship with you, they would say, okay, cool, let's set up a meeting, and then you go through the paces of setting up a meeting. But if they're skeptical, they would say, what business? Business. And then you answer them. I'd love to show you my new business or investment, depending on who you're talking to, where I'm making money automated and I have access to it anytime, anywhere in the world. It's working well for me. When can I show you? Have we spoken anything about MTI? Have we spoken anything about cryptocurrencies? No, we haven't. We're giving them the results that they may possibly have. Okay. So this is to get a one-to-one meeting, and your webinar invite will look something similar. There's a different document for that, which we'll go into just now. So this is the trap that a lot of people fall in. The moment someone sounds interested, you would start pitching MTI and say, yeah, you know, it's this and it's that, and this is how it works. That's not the time and the place. It's a bit like Peter Carruthers from Business Warriors used to say, you know, when you walk into a bar and you flirt a little bit with a girl, and she looks in your direction, you won't ask her right there in the spot, can we get married now? You know, you're jumping the gun a little bit by doing that. So respect the process. Respect the fact that slowly but surely you're winning trust. Slowly but surely you are taking the next step with someone. Okay, so there's your ideal phone script. Follow that, guys. You can use your own language and your own way of talking, but practice and rehearse that, and you will get attention. You may get many no's as well, and that's totally fine. If someone is not interested, that's 100% fine. You're not there to convince anyone, right? You're inviting them in the same way that you would invite a friend over for coffee. Okay. So can you see with these 20 names, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 columns. You want to progress each person through those steps. So you have the name, in this case, Joe example. Your first tick is when you contacted them. That is not if you've sent them a message. You mark contacted once you spoke to them in person, when there was an interaction. Then you make contact, right? If you're not able to actually reach them, then you mark messaged. Your next step is the one-to-one or the webinar, depending on, you know, is your strategy one-to-one or webinar first, depending on your level of experience with this product, okay? Once you've completed the one-to-one, you tick that off. After the one-to-one, you have follow-up, right? So some people will immediately say, yes, I'm interested in this. Help me to take the next steps. And you help them through. And you can actually, within the same one-to-one, you get people, and if you are well practiced, you can get them to sign up and paid in the same session, only if they want to, you know. But it could be that for 3 months, you follow up, they sign up, and eventually they pay. And that's fine. You know, when I spoke to one of my mentors, he said to me, Enrico, you don't have patience. He said his longest person on this list, from having contacted them to having paid, was 10 years. 10 years, my friends. That is a farmer. That is a farmer. That is someone who takes home 3 million rand every single month. If he has the patience to follow this process for 10 years, who are we to get impatient, say, no one is interested. Sien is here on the call. Sien, you won't mind me saying it. There was one stage where Sien contacted me. I was at Sien, I love your background. Where Sien said to me, I'm doing all this work and no one is signing up. We was so frustrated. I said to him, just keep going. The next day, he messaged me, people are signing up, people are paying, Then he just had to go that little bit extra. I seen. He just had to get through the uncomfortableness of doing the work, hearing the no's, pushing through his comfort zone. And then when the results come, it begins to get rewarding and you celebrate every little success. Okay? So taking people through this process. Now, this specific document that I've shared was drafted for someone that said to me they have 1 hour per day to grow their business. Now, in lockdown, most people have 5 hours per day. So if you have 5 hours per day, you multiply this by 5. Okay? So this was based on a 1 hour per day strategy. So I'm not going to go into the weekly progression. That is typically the progression for people as they would start prospecting, and that would take the most amount of time, is just to get the meetings or get people at the webinar. Then they begin to do some kind of support, and then the whole thing flips over. Then they become very effective. Within an hour, like when I actively have driven this, in an hour, I book out my whole week with 3 to 5 meetings a day. Right? Within an hour, I can book out the whole week just like that. Because and that's the script, the little script, the one-to-one script that you see there, that's the script I used. Then your time becomes the one-to-one work, and then your time becomes the support and the follow-up work. So depending on where you are at, those week 1 to week 5 is just an idea of progression. So that's not a set in stone kind of thing. Great questions to ask during a one-to-one, and this would also be true for your webinar follow-up. So we've mentioned this, it's the bottom left block. If I may ask, what are your financial goals? Do you care enough, guys? Just think about this. Do you care enough about that other person that you're willing to listen to what are their goals? And are you authentic enough to tell them if this is not the right thing for them? Say, okay, those are great goals, Maybe I wanted to show you something, but I don't think it's probably the right thing. If you're interested, I can still show you, but are you authentic enough to care for that person, to understand what their goals are? I just want to make a note. Okay. Because if you understand, then you can sell to that. So let's say the person says, I want to build my own retreat center to help people with their own personal healing. Okay, great. Is there a number that you have? Do you have a price tag on that? What will that retreat center cost? What is the capital? What is the cash flow? Okay, now we have a number, we have a goal that we're working to. Let me show you something that might help you towards that goal. And then you show them the opportunity. Or you get them to the webinar if you're not fluent enough yet with the details. And then you ask them. This is the third little bullet point on that last block. How may this help you to achieve your goals? That's like mind-blowing. If you remind them of their goals, you show them the tool, and then you ask them, how could this help you achieve that? Then they
making them sell to themselves psychologically.
Yes, exactly. There's no convincing, there's no selling, there's no pushing. They are selling to themselves. They're utilizing their own creativity. This concept is huge. I really hope you get it. Because, listen, something is not important for someone else unless it's important for them. Have you seen, like, you understand how important Thursday evening's webinar is, and then you message someone and you're frustrated because they don't get how important that is. But it's not important for them until it's important, right? How do you get it to become important? So if someone says, I don't have time, we are in lockdown. So all that they are really saying, or if they're saying, you know what, Enrico, this week I'm so busy, they are not saying they don't have time. They are saying, I don't have priority on this. But if I've asked you and you said to me, this is my thing, I'm going to build a retreat center. And I say, okay, here's maybe something that can help you. I'm serving you. I'm bringing value to you. You can choose whether it will help you or not. Fine. But now that person makes the link to what is the most important thing to them. And then it becomes important. Otherwise, you are just another voice. You're just another advertisement, which you are not. We are here to provide value to our own circle of influence. I know this. You are on the path of many people for a very, very good reason. Don't underestimate the connections and the relationships that you have, because every expansion comes from relationship. Right? Those of you that work close with me, you guys would know it. All of this is coming out of a relationship. It's not business as usual. All expansion comes from relationship. Remember that. So then your most important work is the relationship. And caring enough to understand that person's goals, and then helping them to make the marriage in their mind. Say, okay, this is what you want to achieve. Here's a tool. It's working for me. Let me show you. Could you think this will work for your goal? Can you maybe, and then they use their own creativity. I hope you guys get that. I've jumped to the third question. Second question, if you could automate your required monthly income, what would you love doing? And you know when you've hit the topic, when someone's eyes go all, they light up, right? Ask people, like if anything was possible, what would you be doing? That's all that money is there for. It's an exchange and a means of value. What is valuable to you? And if you get that about people, then at least they would feel that you are interested in them and what they do. Fourth question, are you ready to sign up and get started? Now, this is more of a closing question. And it's a direct yes or no answer. So at this stage, you almost know that you'll get a yes. That's when you ask that. And people will always be true to their own word. So if I ask you, are you ready to sign up and get started? And you tell me yes, then you're committing to yourself. You make a verbal commitment. So at some stage, you do need to ask a closing question to get a commitment. Say, hey, are we going to play ball? Are we going to do this? Can I help you with it? Or, is it maybe not for you? Whatever the case may be. Another closing question. Once you have buy-in, how much would you like to invest, if you don't mind me asking? Okay. These are closing questions. And I've sat with people I'm asking this question, listen carefully. And I don't know if you've experienced this, some of you guys that's been doing this for a while now. Tell me in the chat box if you experience this, where you sit with someone and you kind of size them up and you think, you know what, this guy, they'll probably play with $1,000 or something like that. And then you ask them, how much would you like to invest? And they come out with 100 grand or 300 grand or $1 million. And then you realize that you can never judge that. You can never know except if you've asked. So please write this down. The answer lies in the question. Be very careful to impose what you think. Like if I imposed to say, you know what, oh, you can start with, I think maybe you can just start with, 1,000 rand just to see how it works. I would have subconsciously diverted that person from their own plan, their own marriage that they've made between the tool and their goals. Okay. Sean saying, I think that maybe the last question should be higher up. It gives them a chance for objections. Does it not? Yes. Those questions are not in a specific sequence. There you must follow your gut feel in terms of the flow of the conversation and see what is relevant. You would know in your gut what is relevant, but without imposing your ideas. I see Amelda is saying, yes, that has just happened to me a week ago, where someone told me he would want to invest 200,000. So Amelda, when you sat there, what did you think? Where did you think they will start in terms of what did you think their investment would be? Amelda dropped the mic. 10,000. You were off by a factor of 20-fold. Right? So I'm talking to you from experience, guys. What I'm saying here is exactly what I've experienced. And thank you, Amelda, for confirming that. It's not theoretical. This knowledge is not theoretical. Please hear me. Okay. Last question. Do you need any more information to decide? That's the one that Sean is referring to. Maybe a bit higher up in the sequence. I totally agree with you there. Okay. Cool. So we have a name list of 20 people. This could be your weekly list or your daily list, depending on how much time you are spending on this. Once you've exhausted a list, you go on to the next one. Because I did quite a bit of volume, I used a spreadsheet, but start with the simplicity of one page. Print it out, put it on your table. This is your work, right? If you want to get the same results, you take the same actions. Once you have that results, and you have surplus time and money, then you can begin to experiment. Okay? We're saying first prize is a one-to-one meeting. If you're not confident yet with the product, and many of you are quite new, to flick it around where your first prize is the webinar and your second prize is the one-to-one follow-up. After the webinar, my guys get quiet. Esia, Seen, Frikkie, they get quiet because they go into work mode. They follow up, they sign up, they help with transactions, they work, right? It's not, oh, we've done the webinar and now we sit back, okay? Lizana, I'll come back to your question in a second. So the ideal one-to-one phone script, once again, once you get the results with it, then you can start to tweak. That script works, right? Of course, do it in your own language that is authentic, but it's not, listen, guys, some of you know that I'm into NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, and how the brain works, how habits and these things work. So listen to this, that ideal phone script on the second last, the middle question. Small thing here. It says, I'd like to meet with you, catch up in person, and talk business and catch up. When are you available? You know what most of you do? You ask, are you available? spot the difference. Are you available is a yes or no answer. If I ask, when are you available? It's not a yes or no. It's a different question with a different outcome. So the words in this, just because it's small and little block, don't underestimate that script. It's very carefully chosen. Okay. When are you available? Not are you available, or will you see, when can you come? You know, so, okay. We have the script, we have the weekly activities, we have great questions. Now the last little bit, the remember box, I want to go into that, but let me first look at Lazan's question. I need some advice. I don't impose my minimum ideas, not on purpose, but I'm struggling to get anybody who wants to invest more than 100 or 200, any tips on how and who and where to prospect for the bigger fish. Okay. Lazan, you would never know. Like there's that client from Omelda. She thought this is a 10K client, and it was a 200,000 client. Okay. The great thing about what we are doing here is you are not the middleman. You're only introducing an opportunity to someone. Say, I'm doing this for myself. I'm not a financial advisor. I cannot give you financial advice. Maybe some of you here are, but I cannot give you financial advice. I'm showing you what I'm doing. I am getting good results with it, and people in our team are getting good results. You're welcome to use some of my results or some of our other team members. Consider it. Maybe it's for you. The thing that I've seen, Lazan, and this comes to back to the question, one of the questions I read in the beginning, is it worthwhile to help someone that only invests $100? I wonder, Asia, if I can ask you, I don't know if you have the full right to say no in terms of what was your initial investment and what was your investment 2 or 3 weeks ago?
Okay. I had money lying around in an Ethereum wallet, and I decided I will move it from Ethereum to Bitcoin, and I will transfer it to MTI. And it came to 596 Rand. I didn't give a hoot about the $50 or $100 or $200 minimum. I knew I was below $50, and I was in no means interested in recruiting people.
Okay, just stop there. Just stop there. Stop there, Asia. So, Lazan, would it be worth your while? So, if he pays $500, let's round it to $500, and you get a 50 Rand commission, like I don't know what's your hourly rate, right? That's not a commission. You guys know it's a referral reward because it doesn't come off the money. It's a reward paid by the company. And this guy, he doesn't know how to buy Bitcoin, right? Now you have to spend 2 hours on Zoom to help old Ezio with his wallets that he's forgotten the passwords with. You have to teach him about the blockchain. You have to help him. And 2 hours down the line, you've earned $50, right? You know, maybe not. Okay, Ezio, continue.
So here's what happened. I monitored it for the 20 days of trading in February, almost daily, because I was in this for the investment. I wanted to see how the investment grows, and I wanted to isolate that. I made 70 Rand in my first month. I took this to my wife. I showed her, look at the lucrative way this grew. And we decided to put 3,000 Rand in each on top of what I've got and her in her own account. And then this is where it gets fun. I have a 12-year-old who saved 3,000 Rand towards a surfboard that he wants to buy. He heard us speak, and he asked if we can somehow open an account for him because he also wants to grow. So my wife matched his 3 grand. So he got 6 grand, and my 10-year-old Lat Lamiki got 3 grand. We opened trust accounts for them. So there's 4 accounts out there, and now we're sitting at around 16,000 Rand initial investment, right? On my account, 3,600 Rand is my capital investment. And from there, having had Enrico on a webinar of mine, and then following up, formed a joint venture at his request, which is a concept I go into deeply in my webinars. We went on and again, skeptical. I said, okay, I tell you what, let's do it for the skeptics. Let's prepare 5 questions we're going to handle, and we go live. And that's the 8th of April, this month, 8th of April. We did an interview. I will share with you, I'm sitting at the equivalent. I haven't put in any more capital. I started recruiting because of the interview and because of the subsequent webinar the next evening and the onboarding call back in the group that I created, and then rolling with that. And from there, telling people. I paid over a bonus yesterday in excess of 23,000 Rand from my bonus wallet into my account.
Well done. Well done.
I haven't added any other capital. I'm well over 30,000 Rand if you cashed it out today.
So thank you for disclosing, Essie. I appreciate it.
With pleasure.
Farmer approach. Emil, that is his sponsor. He didn't give up on Essie, and I think Essie is glad now that Emil didn't give up. But Emil is
where's that dentist? That Bitcoin dentist.
He's got a very unique strategy. You know how dentists are when you lie down and they have all the stuff in your mouth, they ask you, so how's things going? So what Emil does, when you lie down, you've got all the stuff sticking out of your mouth. He says, can I tell you about the opportunity?
Yes.
I don't think Emil really does that, but Emil is doing really great. So thanks Emil. He's saying it works every time. Let's complete the story. Emil, would you mind unmuting yourself and tell us what was the process, how you targeted Essie? If you remember the progression, and I know I'm putting you on the spot here. Let's see if you will.
I'll unmute Emil, don't worry.
Thanks. Hey, good evening, Emil.
Enrico, hi Essie, how are everyone? Can you hear me?
Hello, Bitcoin dentist. Just for interest's sake, guys, I've known Emil for about 20 years now. I met this dentist in a karate class.
Wow.
So,
and was it fun?
It
was really fun that days, eh?
It was big fun.
Just to emphasize, any expansion comes out of relationship first, right?
That is true.
Emil, what was how did you communicate with? What was the process that you followed to effectively recruit Essie as part of your MTI team?
I knew Essie 20 years, as he said, and I knew he was a business coach with lots of contacts. So an obvious choice to contact him, and he just didn't want to bite. Like he said, it was a 500 Rand that he's invested, and I just kept on. Please, Essie, look at this. I invited him to the webinars. I told him, I sent him the MTI reports. It was 10% now, 10% this week. Please have a look. And eventually, he decided, okay, it's time to look further in this. I'm so glad he did.
Yeah.
By doing that, he also met you. And look where he is today, eh?
Yeah, and that's where, I always say our paths always, cross for good reason. So if you guys, thanks Emil, I really appreciate it. If you guys could hear, maybe there was a bit of disappointment, this guy only investing $500 and all the effort that it took, but then continuing, sending him some of the reports, sending him some of his results, not giving up. So if you look at my remember box, the second point says no doesn't mean no. It means not yet. So keep following up. You guys get
something I want to bring in here, which is worth for everybody else to understand. I trust Emil intrinsically. So anything Emil offers to me, I will look at. I never said no definitively. I did tell him not now, repeatedly, not now, I'm not ready, not now, over and over and over. but I tell you what made the biggest difference. Emil really cares, okay? It might be a little bit of oversharing, sorry guys. In 2016, I was about to deliver the program of my life at the University of Davies in Sacramento. I had booked 2 back-to-back 3-month programs with entrepreneurs, private courses that was paid in full. And 2 days before I could deliver it, I fell ill. I was hospitalized in America and I was casevac back to South Africa, and I spent 10 months in a hospital, and I had to get a second liver transplant 10 years after the first one to save my life. The thing about that is that I had to shut down everything in 2 days. My business, I had to refund all those people in America. We had to get back here. But somebody like Emil would make home visits to come and see. I was busy dying, guys. In between the hospital visits, Emil would come and visit and see. So I had a major restart to my business life as well. And Emil knew this. And Emil also was interested in getting me a head start. And I just didn't want to initially see it. I was saying, I'm getting my business coaching right. I'm getting my business coaching right. I had to restart my practice. And the moment I had breathing space, I said, okay, Emil, tell me more. And I took a simple chance. I had lost Bitcoin before. I had lost a lot of money on Bitcoin in other ventures. So I was very skeptical. And you're preaching to the converted here now. But the point I want to make, if you care about people and you show them that you care about people, they are bound to listen. And Emil deeply cares.
Yep. Emil is a sales gentleman. He's not a salesman.
Louise said she loves the fact that Emil said he did not want to bite because he's a dentist.
Okay. Then there's another important question here from Duncan saying, when or how to introduce the referral aspect to people. Do you first focus on sign up as an investor? Because I find people are more suspicious when they hear word referral. So let me talk about this. I want you to think in terms of a funnel. And this is the last thing then we'll move away from this sheet. Let me just quickly see if I can draw on here. I'm going to make a funnel, right? These people need to go through this funnel. Initially, they are, and I wonder if my other friend, newly found friend, is on here. Marco Blom. He taught me this thing of initially someone is problem unaware, right? Problem unaware plus solution unaware. So that's the level of consciousness. Okay, the next step, take them through the funnel, takes trust, it takes communication, it takes progression, as you've now heard what SEO's progression was. The next level of consciousness is they are problem aware. Okay? They're aware, oh my goodness, my solvency rate is 1 month. What if, thanks to coronavirus or thanks to a health event or illness event or whatever, what if my income stops tomorrow? Maybe I should think about this thing SEO is talking about. He talks about automated income. I don't have a clue what it is. Now I'm problem aware, but I'm still solution unaware, right? Now someone does a one-to-one meeting with me or join a webinar. I join a webinar. Let's say I'm the customer. Now I become problem aware plus solution aware. So I understand the problem that this solves, and I understand the solution, the tool that is presented. Okay. Then the last little bit here in the funnel, I'll just for simplicity's sake give it and call it an A. That is action. I want to know what is the deal. I want to know how much does it cost. What do I need to do? I'm ready to take action. So here, there are things like numbers. How much? Where do I sign up? So, Duncan, if I catch you right here on top, you are still problem unaware and solution unaware, and I start talking to you about how much it costs or where to sign up, I will miss you completely. You need to, in the conversation, and this is the big thing, please write down, it's a conversation. In the conversation that happens through messages, through by phone, webinar, after webinar, one-to-one meeting, in that conversation thread, you pick up where is this prospect of mine in this process of becoming problem and solution aware. Based on their level of awareness, you communicate certain things.
Exactly. A different way to phrase that is you've got to actually join the conversation in your prospect's mind.
Love it. Love it. And
it doesn't help you come from south and he's still facing north.
Where are they? So, Duncan, let's see if you can answer yourself. In what phase do you think it would be relevant to start communicating the business opportunity? I want everyone to think about this. At the action phase, yes. I love it when, I love it to actually not tell people about, I may hint or mention that aspect. And I first want them to become an investor and experience how this thing works. And then they automatically start telling people, it's like seeing a good movie. If I've seen a great movie, when I speak to my friend, I cannot help but tell him, hey, you must see this movie. This and this happened. It's the latest of this one and whatever. It's like, because you have a good experience, you will tell someone about it. And it's lovely to almost surprise someone to say, hey, you know, when you tell someone there is a referral reward. Now, some people are on a level of consciousness in terms of how these things work that you can immediately hit them with, there's also this business opportunity, referral opportunity, but it's your job to figure out where are they at. Okay? Because, like, for instance, it took me a while to make this my primary business. If I had other things that's important to me, another business, or like you would have asked way too much from me to look at this as a business opportunity. Or you would have communicated with me and gauged where I was at and then communicate on that level. So this funnel that you guys are seeing here is very, very important to join the conversation in your prospect's head and seeing where they are at. You know, problem aware, problem unaware, solution aware, solution unaware. Part of teaching someone the opportunity in Bitcoin, that it's not a fraudulent thing, that it is the evolution of money, that's part of becoming solution aware, right? Okay, let's go through those last little bits. Remember, champions eat no for breakfast. The more no's you get, the closer you get to yes. People tell me, Enrico, I've invited 10 people and only 2 of them show up on the webinar. I said, exactly, I invited 100 people and only 20 showed up. It is a numbers game. You take people through this funnel in all your communications. So a champion is willing to be thick-skinned enough. So I eat this no for breakfast. And second point, doesn't mean no. It only means not yet. That's the attitude you need to go with this, because you know that you are providing value. It's not because you're pushy or salesy. It's because you are determined to provide value. And like Emil was determined to care enough for Asia to keep reminding him, keep telling him about this. Okay. The third one, when people say they don't have time, it really means they don't have priority for the thing. Your job then is to help them see how important it is so that it becomes a priority. Okay. That's where understanding what is important for that person and making the link by a question. Remember, questions are the answer. There's a book, questions are the answer. If you want to check it out. The fourth statement, people don't care what you know until they know that you care. Care enough to understand their needs and goals first, and then serve that person with your solution. We've said this now a few times. Report daily to your sponsor, be consistent, stay positive, plant seeds. So please do this based on everything that we've said tonight. And Essia, I'm talking longer than I'm supposed to, but I feel that we have everyone's attention and that you guys are getting value from it. Essia will still talk to us a little bit about objection handling. But once we've finished, I want you to set a goal for yourself to say, this is what I'll do with this tool in my hands. And then you call or you message your sponsor, the person who invited you to MTI, and you keep yourself accountable to them. You say, my goal is to do this and this and this. This is what I'm aiming to achieve. I'm telling you, we are together in business. Please keep me accountable. Please ask me next week, how's it been going? So take yourself out of your comfort zone. Okay. Second last, tune into your deeper motivation of why you are doing this to stay motivated and emotionally resilient. If your goal is important enough, you will overcome whatever you need to overcome. Last one, if someone is not interested, say thank you, move on and ask them for referrals. So don't take it personally if someone says, no, I'm not interested. Just now I came off the phone with someone says, no thanks, and you go, I'm not interested. Right? I know I can provide value, but I'm not going to take that personal. So my next question is, okay, I respect that. Is there someone that you know that now that you understand that you think this could be valuable too? And more often than not, that person will give you a referral. Okay. Those are sometimes some of the best referrals. So guys, print out this thing, work the plan, and be consistent. Every single day, do your work. And I want to see what is achievable for you. Maybe make a 3-month commitment or a 6-month or a 1-year commitment. So I'm going to stick to this plan, whether it's a 1-hour plan a day or a 5-hour a day, doing these activities. And this is my why. This is what I want to achieve in so much time. You're welcome to reach out to me and Essia to help you with goal setting if you feel a bit fuzzy around that. We can help you to really put down that goal in a way that is smart and achievable. But you owe it to yourself not to have all of this that I'm communicating as, wow, that's great ideas and these are great little bits of information. Because, and this is one that you want to write down, is knowing and not doing is not knowing at all. This is worthless if you don't do anything with it. Knowing and not doing is not knowing at all. Okay. Great. Is everyone still there? Give us I'm still here in the chat box. And I'm going to, awesome, Duncan. I'm going to hand over to Essia to talk about this dreadful thing. Chris, Hector, I love the energy, you guys. Alive and kicking, Lazan, Theo, Jordan, yes. Essia, objection handling, it's the worst word. It just sounds like, I don't have a positive connotation even because it's objection and you have to handle it. And this goes together with some of the fears that we talked about in terms of overcoming. What if someone rejects me? What if someone says no? Or what if someone says, no, man, this thing is a scam? And this is because we are in the crypto space and because we are having results that are higher yields than your average financial instruments, the first default that people say is, oh, this must be a scam. Is it a pyramid? What is it? So those are one of the major objections. So let's, Essia, the floor is yours. I might add on, but let's talk about objection handling. And since I've gone over time a little bit, Essia, are you able to give us a time estimate of your section, just so that people can prepare themselves mentally?
I think what's happening now. Can you hear me?
I can see your screen. I can see
Yes.
the browser screen.
I'm open, yes. Hold on, I'm coming with it.
Great.
Okay, so time estimate, let's say maximum half an hour, maybe 20 minutes. I'm going to try and finish for you in 20 minutes.
Okay, awesome.
So
Guys,
I'm going to make it punchy.
Time into yourself. This is very, very important. Thank you, Essia.
Try and take screen grabs of this one. I want to share with you, I usually do this with flip charts. I physically write on flip charts, and I do write that big on the flip chart so everybody to the back of the room can watch. So I've transposed this afternoon for you to a presentation, which is weird for me. Some of the people on the call that's been in my coaching sessions knows that I'm a paper, I've got an affinity for the paper and what it makes for the interactivity of learning. So let's take a look at objection handling. I want to put the premise out there that you do not see it as rejection, but you see it as an objection. It's not about you, it's about the object that's on the table. It's not people rejecting you. Never take it personal, don't be rejected. And now let's play with this a little bit. So objection handling. An example is, you're ugly and your mother dresses you funny. It sounds horrible, right? It's one that I make people practice with. The thing is, if you become callous about whatever objection you're getting, it doesn't matter what people are saying. You're ugly and your mother dresses you funny. So what about if we say, I already have what you are selling? Oh, this is one. I'm not interested. Do not call me again. Or closer to home, isn't that a Ponzi scheme? This is where we are now. And I want you to think about all of these examples I threw out there immediately. What does it do to you? Does this come up for you? Is there any emotions when you put yourself in the position that people are saying this? So I'm going to go physiological and I'm going to go tactical. Tactical techniques, physiological reaction, and techniques to control and get the better of the situation. So listen to me carefully. When your emotions goes up, okay, there's something that diametrically goes the other way. Intelligence goes down. So literally you're sitting with emotions going up, intelligence going down. And if you don't watch it, you do a very, very good imitation of a goldfish, where if somebody tells you literally, what are you doing in my office? Or why are you here? Or how can I help you? You could be, see why I picked a goldfish? Open mouth, blah, blah, blah. Or let's go the emoticon way. It's like, what? Hello? What now? Do you feel like you don't know what to say? Do you maybe feel like you wanted to just put out the traffic cop hand and say, stop? I first want to think about what to say to you. And if I have a moment to think about what I say, maybe I can come up with an idea to answer you. So the way our brains work is that we need a split second to be able to actually think about that objection that we received, about that runaway emotion, that funny feeling, and of course that intelligence that dropped right into our socks. So a technique to use to get the moment to think is to acknowledge. If you acknowledge the other person's viewpoint, you actually then get a moment to think, and then you ask a question, because you've now given your time a few milliseconds, your brain, a few milliseconds to acknowledge and ask a question. Remember those, acknowledge and ask a question. Now, if you have acknowledged, thought a bit, and you can ask an intelligent question, what comes next? Did you want to say something, Enrico?
No, I'm enjoying your process.
So let's talk about acknowledging. And bear with me. In the beginning, when you haven't practiced enough, I want you to say thank you. So get your family together, get your kids together, practice. I've got 2 Laatlammetjies in the house. I practice this on them often, and I teach them how to do this. So somebody is saying there with their little voice going, duh, Sean, your little voice. Or one of them at least. So imagine somebody saying, you're ugly and your mother dresses you funny, and you say, thank you. Your reaction might be something like this. What the hell is wrong with SJ? Is he gone totally crazy? But hold on. The process that we're going through is about your brain. You have to train your brain, because do you want to know a secret? Come close to your cameras. If you want to know a secret, most of us have gone to school since grade R, or whatever it was called in your day, or the youngsters had it as grade 000, whatever, till matric. So let's be generous and say 12 years of normal schooling, not 13. And if you studied a degree, another 4 years, and you know what you were conditioned to do is to answer questions, to react emotionally, intelligence down, anxiety, answer questions. So you've got to retrain your brain, and you've got to train your brain so that if they say you're ugly and your mother dresses funny, initially the thank you can then become, I respect your opinion, or I hear what you're saying, something in that line. But believe me, in the beginning, when you're practicing, say thank you. Even on a live prospect, say thank you, because you're acknowledging what they're saying. So listen to this now. This sounds too good to be true. I respect your opinion. Or this sounds too good to be true. Thank you. Now, remember the next step is to ask a question. So take the dialogue from the top. This sounds too good to be true. I respect your opinion. What makes you say that? Now listen, if you do practice this, and if you do coach each other in playing this, you've got to practice no non-words. You've got to practice no hesitation. So it's got to be acknowledgement, question. Your brain is fast enough. You can do it. So if they go, this sounds too good to be true, and you can say, I hear what you're saying, or you can say, thank you, and then you immediately say, what makes you say that? So let's do it from the top. The one person says, this sounds too good to be true. I hear what you're saying. What makes you say that? Fluent. I hear what you're saying. The brain gets a chance to think. What makes you say it? What happens? That person was also conditioned to answer questions. Now they start telling you, well, you see, yada, yada, blah, blah, but now you've got to listen and you've got to learn. Because if you want to enter the conversation, in that person's head, you've got to understand where they're coming from. And if they entertain your question and they haven't thrown you out of their office or something or hung up on you yet, it means you still have buying signals. So then you continue by asking more questions. And sometimes if they throw out statements, acknowledge what they're saying and ask a question. It's a simple technique. Acknowledge and ask a question. And you can then, by asking more questions, drill down to a point where you can actually then say, but okay, now, would you mind if I explain to you a way? And you segue right into those questions that you've got on your cheat sheet. You segue into, do you know that there's a possibility that what I do, if you start doing it as well, it can help you achieve your own goals? Drill down questions, remember, and get there. I'm going to stop the presentation. That's my last slide. That was a quick 10 minutes. And I'm going to ask you to open your put up your hands, and let's see if there's anybody that want to go live with a question here. I'm happy to unmute you if you want to go for a question live while we're doing this. That was short and punchy, Enrico.
That was very potent, and I love the practicality. I'm more of a conceptual kind of person, so I really appreciate that you brought in the practicality here. For you, if you want to raise your hands, you go to the toolbar. Where was that again? Help me out, Isia.
The more, it's more under, I think, participants. Under participants and more, or under, yes, under participants on that window. Yeah. You may have a chat that says more, and you raise your hand.
I don't think I have. Oh, yes. I see
no.
And then, no, I'm not sure.
Yes. Amelda?
She tested the screen share.
Amelda popped to the top for a moment. She was testing the screen
I'm not
sharing.
sure if that's where the thing is to raise your
hand. You see, you're a host. You don't have it.
Okay.
As a host, you don't have it on your screen.
So if you can't find that
somebody
button, just
put your video on and raise your hand or something.
Yeah, just say in the chat box you want to ask a question, and then we can open up the microphone, because we have.
Amelia says at the bottom at reactions.
Oh, reactions, the little emoticon.
Yeah, but reactions gives you a clap your hands and a thumbs up.
Oh, that's not the one.
In my case.
Okay.
Facebook is a wonderful tool for prospect bloggers. Okay, people are starting. Is that participants right at the bottom? Yeah, the participants have it at the right-hand bottom under more. The hosts don't have it.
Okay.
Any questions for the
guys? This is
in the chat box. Put it in the chat box if you want.
Yeah, please ask questions, because we are here to assist you. Think about where do you get stuck, and let's be human and authentic and ask us.
Take a step back and tell me, was this quick overview on objection handling a new insight for you? Give me a yes if it was a new insight. I'm watching that box. Sean, yes. Cool. Duncan, Louise, Hector, yes. Okay, beautiful. Charles.
Yeah.
Theo, Dewald, Blikkies, Lionel.
It's almost like it disarms the situation, where it can be the moment that you take something personal in terms of an objection. I love the way that you reframed objection to it's an object, it's not personal. So for me, that was valuable to say, okay, let's deal with the object and it's not personal. And also to not go into a reactive this against that, but to say, let's say thank you, let's acknowledge, come back to neutral emotions, and then have an intelligent question to say, what do you mean by Ponzi scheme or pyramid scheme? Thank you. What do you mean by this? And then join that conversation. I see Yafu had put up a shop.
Gave a thumbs up. So I'm asking him privately if he wants to speak. Okay. Yafu, do you want to speak? Tell us. I'll unmute you. I'm not getting an answer.
Okay.
Did we scare you away, Yavu? I'm going to unmute you. Tell us yes or no. Did you want to say something?
I also no, this is very insightful. Thank you, Is here.
You're very, very welcome, dude.
Yeah,
Very
thank you.
welcome.
I'm quite experienced in this kind of work. And I know even with experience, do you have any blockages or things that you sometimes get stuck with that you want to ask about? Maybe we have a bit of a delay with him. I see Alfred hand is up. Alfred, can we unmute you to ask a question? Okay, Alfred, I'm going to unmute you. You're welcome to chat. How's it going?
How's it? No, it's been great, insightful. I just got a question regarding the small guys signing up. So you've got $1,000 or 200, $2,000 or whatever. What's the best way for them to lose the smallest amount of money? So which wallet should they use? What bank accounts? Have you, like, guys, I know for bigger numbers, it's not that big a deal, but I think for if you want to have a big farm of little guys, you need to make it as cost effective for them. So do you have any advice on that?
Is your question around which systems should they use to buy Bitcoin and get into the system?
Yeah, that costs the least amount of money. Like, because obviously there's transaction fees. Have you compared altcoin to Luno, for example, cost wise?
Yes, we have Valor, VALR.com is 5 to 7 times cheaper on their trading fees. So they are currently new in the market. They've been founded by the CEO of FNB, Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan, yeah. Oh wow. Okay, that's an awesome advice.
Yeah. So and they're trying to, well, they are winning market share at a rapid rate. So their fees are lower than industry, 5 to 7 times lower. And they also have a cool feature. I just paid out today, I'm very happy to say, 53,000 Rand from MTI via Valor back into my FNB bank account. And they have this blitz processing thing where the funds show immediately, obviously in business hours, show immediately in your bank account. Don't know how they do it. They've got a higher transaction fee, but it's quick. So I like the exchange, Valor. I'm still talking to some of the leadership there about MTI, because when they see a new customer pay into a pool type Bitcoin wallet, they send out signals, which is maybe not so productive for us. But we are waiting for a legal opinion document about all the activities of MTI that we can submit to Valor to say, hey, you don't have to warn your customers. Here's all the due diligence and all of that. So you may just be aware that you may get it from their support that on your first transaction that they would raise some flags to say you're paying into a pool account that may be risky.
Okay, and on the Michael Jordan topic, did you join Rain, or what's the bank? The bank without. I know he's got a new bank as well.
No, I know of it, but I'm not familiar with it.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
These ventures, yeah. Cool.
So I'm going to go back to Blikkies. Blikkies asked way earlier, where or how do you find your prospects to have the conversation with? Blikkies, start with people you know, in my opinion. If you've exhausted the people who you know, start with people you meet. I will share, I see Dewald Kutsia has got his hand up. Dewald, we will be with you in a minute. So if you go onto Facebook, this is a trick that you all can use, okay? Go and delete people that have not engaged with your Facebook for the last year. There are people that's never engaged with you on Facebook, and there are tools available. I'll put it on the MTI Telegram group. I'll put the link for a tool that you can use that will look at Facebook, and if somebody hasn't ever engaged with your posts, you can remove them as friends. In the beginning, we thought Facebook is about building these friends. Now, if you start using it as a more active business tool, and you go and you have space for 1,000 new friends, and you go into a group where investors are chatting, or you go into a group where entrepreneurs are busy, or you go into a group where people are talking about making money, or even about Bitcoin. Go into the groups, listen to the conversations, participate in the conversations. Don't say anything in the group. Selectively friend some people, and then as soon as they've accepted your friend request, start a conversation with them. Please don't fall into the whole house met die voordeur. Don't say, boom, I've got something to sell. Boom, I've got something to sell. Build a relationship. What do you do? What are you in? Get into their head. Follow the process that Enrico has showed you tonight. And that's the way you start conversations. Make it rustig. Sorry for the Afrikaans words in between. Rustig means take it easy, be relaxed when you approach them in a very relaxed manner. So Blikkies, give us a response if that answers your question enough for now. And then I'm going to unmute Dewald Coetzee quickly so you can talk to us, Dewald. If I can just find you, Dewald Coetzee. Yes, I'm lowering your hand and I'm unmuting you, Dewald.
Hi, I'm just not sure if you can hear me.
Yes, yes, we can hear you clearly.
Okay, awesome. I was just wondering because I'm a very young person. I'm 18 years old. And I'm just wondering, how is it possible for me to get into the financial mind of someone that's more older than me, because I am younger than them? So for me to kind of not convince them, but just to get them more attracted towards what I want to show them, what opportunity I have for them, what would you say is a very good way to start doing that? Because I have no big financial background. I have no referrals. I can show them, you know, okay, this is my history. I started from the bottom. So I started investing, and every month now I'll start investing more amounts of money just so that can grow. But I'm just wondering, because I talked to my stepfather, who is in the financial world, and I tried convincing him, and luckily, because I did my maths and everything, so I showed him exactly how MTI works, how transparent they are, and everything. So luckily for me, it was easy to do it with him because it was a one-on-one. But for me to actually arrange a meeting with someone that is older than me, how would you say I will be able to successfully do that?
You want to go first, Enrico? I'll add on to what you say.
Dewald, thank you very much for, that's a great question. And sometimes it's not age that why people feel disqualified. So a lot of people feel in their own self-value, they feel disqualified for some reason. It may be age, it may be, I've never been successful with money, whatever your reasons are, how you disqualify yourself. Start with, Dewald, in your case, showing them on your scale the results that you're having, but making them the expert. You know, like with, did you say your stepfather, to say, let me show you my results, and you know, me being a youngster and you being experienced in finances, can I show you this and get your feedback and your opinion?
Yeah,
but asking them to sell to themselves, you know, and just stay authentic in terms of, this is who I am, this is my age, this is what I'm doing. Maybe you bring a gift to them to understand something new, like the blockchain or cryptocurrency, because you are young, and but make them the expert to say, I'd love to get your opinion on this. This is what I'm doing. Let me show you my results, and get their feedback, get them to do the research. So that's how I would, and that's actually how I approach it many, many times when I speak to heavyweight investors, to say, listen, I'm doing this, I'm getting good results. Let me show you, but ultimately I'd love to hear what you think about this. I'd love to get your insights, because I know you are good with this thing. Standing on the shoulders of giants. That's what you need to be doing.
Absolutely. And then another thing, remember, Dewald, you you have an advantage over what they do. You have experience with this. You have got results. You can show empirical results already, which they don't have. And if you slip it into the conversation at the right time, that alone is going to open their eyes, and it will nullify the age gap. As long as you stay respectful, some older people don't take kindly to youngsters talking to them.
Yeah.
But there's a guy on Facebook, I think his name is Josh Gavin. I will find out and get it to you. This guy started at 17 to coach people, first mindset coaching and then high ticket sales. I saw today that he posted his transfer into his account, a $2,000 coaching fee upfront for coaching somebody. He went to his dad at 17 and he said, I want to stop working. I want to stop going to school. I just want to do this. And he started going step by step by step. And he's somebody to look at and model and connect with. I'll find it for you. But he coaches people 3 times his age because he's done it for a couple of years now. I think he's turning 20. So he's got a 3-year prosperity coaching experience. And you can be that. You can be there at 21 and be a multimillionaire and show these people how to do it. So keep the confidence in what you're doing. And remember to bring in the evidence. The evidence talks much louder than anything else. And if you cloak that in respect and building a sincere, integrity-based relationship, you're going to be successful.
Great. Thank you very much.
Thank you, man, and all the best. It's awesome to have young blood in here.
Yeah, lovely. And remember, Dewald, it always starts with a relationship and with caring first. And, you know, as I said, when I was quite young, I went in for the kill right in the beginning. But try the farmer's approach. It will serve you well in the long term. Let me see in the chat box, what else do we have?
I've got Elma, and I think I pronounce it, I don't know how I pronounce her surname, Pio Quinto. What if the person said, I'm not interested? If you're objection handling, from my viewpoint, respect that. Say, okay, I hear what you say. May I ask why not? There's nothing wrong with asking that question. And if you do it in a tone of voice that's not aggressive, and in a manner that's not aggressive, you may just learn a lot. My mentor called that market research. If they said, I'm not selling, find out why they're not selling. If they're not buying, find out why they're not buying. It will teach you something. And what I'm laughing about, Sean Northey said, somebody asked him if it's not a Ponzi scheme. And he replied simply with, even though he knows the answer, what is a Ponzi scheme? And the guy just shook his head and said, okay, man, I'll watch the webinar. Because he did. So there's ways to do it. Lazan Shepard says, I think it's a superpower to stay calm, and the other person is sure to be impressed with your professionalism and confidence. It's also important that asking the person a question puts them in the position of power and gives you yet another opportunity to prove your confidence in your opportunity. Yes. Very, very true.
Awesome. We are on such a timely opportunity, and take to heart what we've said here and run with it. If you do it, if you overcome your own comfort and your own discomfort, throw yourself into the deep end, challenge yourself. My gosh, you have this genius mind, you have this wonderful body, you have everything going for you. Just do it. You know, you will either win or you will learn. But there's no failure. There's only feedback. So go for it, and with momentum, and you can either going to win or learn. And the other very important thing that I want to encourage you now, I've been a neuro coach for more than 6 years now. And, you know, many years I've asked many of my clients, what do you want to focus on? Because I realized the importance of focus. And this, if you want to write it down, where focus goes, energy flows. Where focus goes, energy flows. So I did not know how profound that really is until I started to focus. Now, some of you here, MTI will be a full-time business for you. Some of you have other things as well, but then at least create a time where you focus, a time slot in your day. Say, this is my focus time for this venture. Because we're really bad at multitasking, right? Even if you're a woman, we are really bad at multitasking. Allow yourself to focus, because where your focus goes, your energy flows. So that is a big key to success. And I'm only now realizing the power of this. So many guys target me. I get opportunities daily that have bigger promises than MTI. That's fine. That's good. I'm focused. Until I achieve what I need to achieve, I won't be looking at anything else. I'm focused. Because there's more value in me being focused than looking for the next best thing. Right? So
absolutely. That's very, very true.
Really important, eh?
So I've got Sean Kukumu saying, I sign up with all the Forex Gold crypto groups and pages on Facebook, which is what I alluded to earlier. Thanks for confirming that, Sean. Then I wait for those irritating advert pages from them flooding my Facebook page. And I then scout the people who replied on those pages. It works. It's really a source of brand new leads. It's definitely a technique I also teach. Yeah. And I've paid thousands of dollars to get that training. And what I saw Sean does, Sean saw one of my posts that works well, and he repurposed it and he used it as well. I had one post before a webinar with 28 responses. If you have 28 comments on a post, you know that's working really well for something like a webinar.
Yeah,
and then I saw organic. Sean, yes, that's completely organic. And then Duncan Stork asked, do you have a template of your income stream spreadsheet you can share so that we can track our growth and understand the number system better?
Yes, what we'll do, I'm going to send you the Facebook group. The one that is here is Manny. The group is named Auto Invest Income. And in the file section, we will upload the spreadsheet template that I'm using. It pulls in the Bitcoin price so that you don't have to type it in every time. And there's a weekly, I think it's now for January and February. You'll just have to repurpose it for the latest dates. And one of my friends is also working on a better spreadsheet, but for now that one has been working for me, tracking every single week. Guys, if you work at this, my promise is with you, you will get the results. And then the last kind of thing that I wanted to say about sales is, and if you don't mind me using an idea from the natural world, that's the concept of attraction, where you are attracted to someone, right? Think about the most attractive people are the ones that probably give you the least. So I want to encourage you to don't try too hard to sort of plant the seeds and then, yeah, this is it. I'll leave you to it, to become attractive. There's a different frequency, if I may call it that, of being desperate. I need you to look at this. I need you to sign up. I need you, please. Begging. It's a different frequency and bandwidth thing. Being attractive to understand your own value, that you have something of value to offer, and you're not desperate. Aren't those the most attractive people? Male and female, right? There's a certain energy about that. So stop trying so hard, Yes, do the work, overcome the no's. It will be difficult. It will be out of your comfort zone. You're going to think, what if someone rejects me? It's fine, Do work hard at it, but never try and convince someone. Just be attractive now that you understand that concept. And it's interesting that attraction is the ability to receive. Attraction is the ability to receive. So this is on a very, if I can say, energetic level where that happens. So test it, see if you find it to be true for you as well, where you don't try so hard and you're open to receive, right? The last little bit that I want to mention is Thursday evening. We're going to have the biggest webinar that we've ever had, thanks to you guys here. And tomorrow morning on the WhatsApp group and on the Facebook group. I may actually share it right now after we close. I'll give you 3 things: a little bit of text for the webinar invite with the registration link, a banner that you can send out, a graphical banner, whether it's WhatsApp or Messenger. Remember, that's not the strategy. The strategy is one-to-one contact. And I'll send you a document. We'll have a competition again for the person with the most people on the webinar and registered a week later. I will personally pay you from my MTI account. This is just a personal thing. It's not an MTI thing. 0.01 Bitcoin. That Bitcoin may be worth a lot very soon. We are seeing strong moves in the Bitcoin price. So I think it would currently be around 1,700 if I'm correct. But it's just a little reward. Senior on the call, and with his last time when he's won it, he actually gifted it to someone to open an account for them. So, but it's just something nice. Let's have fun with this competition. Let's get people invited to the webinar, follow up in person, follow up afterwards. Everyone is sitting at home with lockdown. This is your time. This is your opportunity. And people are especially aware now of, wait a minute, what about my income? Maybe I should look at some automated income opportunities. Let's see. Hey, Enrico, every time you pay, I have to pay. Slow down. Yeah, so Seen went on to also launch his own competition in his group that he's leading. And that is a lovely thing for me to see that he's stepping into his leadership role as well. So I will share on the WhatsApp and on the Facebook. Yes, replication. I will share the information for Thursday evening's webinar. We've scheduled it for 7 p.m. We are expecting another nation address by the president. And typically it's a bit later on, even though they make noises that it's early. But effectively they start talking 8:30 around there. So we'll have a high impact webinar. The last time was very, very successful. So be sure to register. The great thing for you guys that are now marketers, let me give you a little sneak peek. I know this is going to be very interesting for you guys, and you're welcome to reach out to me or Essia to help you with this. What happens to someone that registers for the webinar, and what follow-up tools do we have? So I'm just sharing now. I'm just free-flowing here with you guys. Let me share my screen. I think you might find this interesting. This is Chrome. You should be able to see. Essia, are we seeing Get Response Back Office? Essia, did you mute yourself? Let's quickly see. I'm going to funnels. If you guys can just tell me in the chat box if you can see my back.
I was just away from my mic. Sorry, I'm here. I was listening to you, but I couldn't unmute. I'm seeing your today, this week, this month.
Oh, okay. Wait, you're seeing my personal to-do list. Let me try and reshare again. Now I've got the right screen. So guys, I'm using a marketing system. Once again, this is something that we can help some of the leaders duplicate. So we have a funnel where people register for the webinar. I've just set up Thursday is one. You can see now on this funnel, this is just some stuff to make you a little bit curious. This funnel has had 17 visitors on that registration page, 19 visitors. 37% of them signed up for the webinar. So this tells you for every 10 people that you sent the invitation and follow up, only about 3 or 4 will register. Out of those 3 or 4 that register, only about 2 will actually be at the webinar, right? So it becomes a numbers game. We think in terms of funnels. Now, the value for you guys taking your people through the same funnel is, what do we do afterwards? Let me show you. So I don't just send out the Zoom link because we want to follow them up with email. So if I go to my automation, this sequence of emails is sent out. So we've got it all mapped out. So someone registers for the webinar, then I send them a personal message to say, hey, I can't wait to see you at the webinar, let's get to know each other. Then I wait until 8 o'clock that evening. I send them the first steps they need to take. We also discuss this in the webinar. No affiliate links, right? So you'll see, I also ask who referred you to this webinar, right? So that is your referral always. So I don't want more customers. I want to grow your team. So I don't share referral links in this webinar. Wait for 1 hour, and then we send out the recording. Then we wait for 1 day, then we send out the email. Everyone asks me this: is my money safe? Who is this company? Who is the owner? I send them the due diligence report and the video. We wait another day. We send them, oh my word, this guy just invested 6 million rand. That's one of the people in the MTI team. Why did he do it? Have a look at these videos. Wait another day. Then we send it this testimonial video. So we keep on following up on email on your behalf. Yes, you must do your in-person follow-up, but I'm just quickly sharing this for you in terms of the tools that we are using. And this is probably one of the reasons, I don't think it's the only reason, but probably one of the reasons that we are one of the fastest growing and most dynamic teams in MTI. And I think we're still small. There's a lot that we can still do, but we're using the tools. So just remember, there is a follow-up sequence. If someone registers through that link that I'm be sharing right after this call, they will get the autoresponder emails. So that makes your work a little bit easier. Okay. Asia, get a referral link. Okay. That's a different conversation.
Sean is saying he needs that screen, the purple one. So that's a funnels. He loves those funnels. Okay. I do too, Sean. I can go crazy on that.
Yeah. So we've learned our lesson with GetResponse. We crashed that one webinar where there was 105 people and the thing crashed on us. The support is actually still communicating with me as to how they're sorting that out, because I made a big noise there. But we are now using Zoom. So we still use GetResponse for the landing page and the email automation. But the link that goes out is the Zoom link. So we think Zoom would be a bit more dependent and a bit more user-friendly. So yes, you have seen, I've sent you that link in the past, but now you've looked at it differently. Shall we finish up? This is our work this week. Starting tomorrow morning is to market the webinar. You can have 10 people at the webinar. It's 10 one-to-one meetings less. And then after the webinar, you do your one-to-ones with them, following up, asking the right questions. So let's have a focused attempt. And I just want to say, I really appreciate every single one of you here. I really, really do. And I want to see you be very successful. I want to see you have lots of resources so that you can do good in the world, so that you can mean something to the people around you. I want to see you escape the rat race, get off the hamster wheel. And I'm looking forward to seeing what you will do with this. A big thank you to Essia for being a host. Hopefully we can do this more regular, and thank you very much for all the comments. Thank you for the mentorship. Thanks, appreciate all of that. We see it. Thank you so much. C is saying, amped. I'm somehow gonna phone people to wake up and sign up. Guys, it's 10 in the evening. What's also interesting, as you
everybody.
do this, you actually you find time slots that work better and ones that doesn't work so well, you know. You will see, but that's part of doing it disciplined. The currency of kings is discipline. If you keep on consistently doing the work discipline, you will see the result. I promise you that. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, Essia. Thanks for everyone that contributed. Hope you sleep well. And if you don't sleep, I want your mind to be busy with your own marketing and your own dreams and your own goals. All right. Last words from you, Essia.
Thank you very much, guys, for being so enthusiastic. The energy on the call was really nice. And the fact that you stuck it out for 2 hours just is a testimonial to how serious you are about this business. I'm here to support you. Henrico has shown all of us leading the way in how to support you. Let's just go and grow your business, guys. This is an awesome thing. It's out there. There are so much knowledge around the table. Go and be awesome.
Yes, and in terms of recording this, I have recorded it. I'm not going to make it too public. For me, this is very inner circle. If you want this recording, I will give it to you on a one-to-one basis. You can just send me a message. All right, guys. Sending you lots of love and all the best. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.